Hello, friends. I thought that was the end of the song, but apparently not. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Monday Giveaways. I'm still kind of sick, so forgive me. I'm going to try to not have a huge coughing fit like I did yesterday, though. Welcome to Monday Giveaways. We're doing 4 giveaways tonight, and we're going to be doing a little bit of work, if we have time, on the CiottiFPV 3-inch frame, which Ryan Harrell very kindly did the finishing touches on the design. There's actually been a couple of people involved in this frame design over the years, and then I dropped the ball and it's been sitting for a while. But now's the time, damn it. The last couple of hours of my life have been weird. So my Miata. All right, so let's go all the way back. About 2.5 years ago at a drift event that you were just watching some of the footage from, I met and flew and followed T-Pain. That's who that just was. He can drive, like for real can drive. He actually learned how to drift on Assetto Corsa on the simulator. I followed him, met him. He was like the coolest guy ever. I showed him a bunch of the footage on the back of the GoPro. Just a totally awesome dude. We started talking via text. He had me do that edit with, well, he sent me a song that he was working on, an unreleased song, and then I put it to that run of his and sent it to him. And he's like, oh, that's really cool. And then I said, you know, I know that I can't release this, so I'm gonna put another song to this and just throw it up like private on my YouTube. You're cool with that, right? Whatever, blah blah blah. At that same time, at that same event, I met a guy, George, from GMG Performance, a shop up that way. This is like northern Georgia. And that shop is who, at the time, until very recently, has been working on all of T-Pain's cars. So I was like, well, shit, they're obviously a trustworthy shop, right? And when I ran my Miata into the back of somebody a few months later, I contacted that shop. I said, hey, man, I would love to do some FPV work for you, and I need some repairs done to my car. can we swap hours? And we started talking on Instagram, and we came to an agreement to swap hours. He had a guy working for him that owned a Miata and had worked on a ton of different Miatas. So it was awesome. Had the car towed to him. I went to the shop. I did a bunch of flying. I did a whole bunch of editing. I put in like 7 or so hours of work. And then I messaged him. I was like, hey man, I put in like 5 hours or so of work. I wanted to kind of hook him up, and I know that I'm slow editing. So I was like, hey, I put in 5 hours of work. How much work do you think the Miata is going to take so that I know when to stop, so that we're not, so that it's not off? And all of a sudden, so like a couple of months had gone by this point. And all of a sudden he says, oh, that's not the agreement that we ever made. I can't trade you hours. You need to pay for this. This is going to be like $1,600. For the amount of work that needed to get done, that was still a pretty good price. I was super bummed that I didn't so this was one of my very first lessons in don't make agreements through Instagram messages. So I just said, you know what? That I fucked up. I should have put that into a contract that we both signed, whatever. Lesson learned. Suck it up, Buttercup. So sent him $1,000. I said, what's the minimum for you to get started? He said $1,000. Great. Sent him $1,000, which for me is a ton of money. Like that is a ton of money. But it was a good price for the amount of work that needed to get done. At the time, I thought he was a good, reputable shop, and that they did good work because they worked on big, expensive exotics. And I was like, okay, fine. Well, then weeks started going by, months started going by, years started going by. It has now been over 2 years since they've had the car. He just blows me off over and over and over and over and over again. And last night, T-Pain, who's had a bunch of cars that have been worked on there, put out a series. Well, over the past couple of days, actually, T-Pain put out a series of 27 TikTok videos chronicling his experience with GMG Performance and George. I threw a link to T-Pain's TikTok on my Facebook channel. You can just fucking go there and search for T-Pain. What's really insane is that his experience very closely mirrored mine, but obviously with much bigger numbers involved. I'm 1,600 into the hole with this guy. He's probably 30 or 40 grand in the hole. And a lot of the dates line up, which is really kind of crazy. September 4th of this year is when he asked for another $600. September 1st, he told T-Pain that he was completely broke and couldn't even cover payroll. Yeah, really. And I mean, T-Pain had a way worse experience than I did, and yeah, but I actually way back when T-Pain and I were texting back and forth, I've sent him a couple of texts every 6 months to just see if he'll reply. If I see him do something cool on YouTube, I'll say hey, great feature with Vaughn Gittin, you're still ripping, love it, blah blah blah. And I never got any replies back. And of course, he gets 10,000 text messages a minute, I'm sure, right? I sent him a text today, and I said, hey man, thanks for saying all that shit. I'm also, and I just kept it brief and said, I'm in the hole as well, blah blah blah. And he actually replied back, so we've been texting back and forth for a minute here. And I don't know if I should have done that. On one hand, so this is now blown up. The entire car world is talking about this. It's a complete shit show, of course. And so there's a chance that this shop is going to go under and go away. And I shot the shop a message. I said, hey man, when's the Miata going to be done? Just like I've done 7,000 times previously. And they actually got back to me and said, I'll get back with you tomorrow. I was like, yeah, So, like, with all this, I feel like the shop is going to go under. They have my $1,600. It's really hard to walk away from that. That is just an absolutely unbelievable amount of money for me. So I don't know. I can't just go have a tow truck pick the car up and walk away from $1,600. I guess I probably should, but I just can't. That's just too much money. And if the shop doesn't go under and they fix the fucking car, then it's not that. I mean, like, I've had the Mazda 2, like, yeah, for sure. There were like 6 months after my ex-wife left that I didn't have a car. Luckily, I had some amazing friends that were willing to let me borrow them. Shout out to P. Richard Scott. It would have been great to have the Miata, but I didn't, and I got through it. And then I bought the Mazda 2, and I've had the Mazda 2, and, like, I'm not really super into cars anymore. Like, I just kind of can't afford to be into cars anymore, and that's fine. Like, me getting the car back and walking away from that $1,600, like, that's brutal for me. And it's like, oh, we'll sue them. Well, I also can't afford a fucking lawyer and the time that would be involved and all that, right? And like, yeah, I don't have the means or time to go that route. If the shop goes under, then I have somebody go pick up the car, whatever. If the shop doesn't go under, and like I said, and they fix the car, like, it's kind of fine for me. Like, I haven't really needed the car, like, and I haven't said anything other than, like, on the live streams to FPV people. I haven't said anything about any of this in the car world, mainly because I didn't want to piss the shop off and have them be like, fuck it, never ever. So I don't know. I maybe should have kept my mouth shut, but I just kind of couldn't after I saw all this shit go down a couple hours ago. And I've actually posted a couple of places about it. I haven't put like big, like, I've basically just replied to people to kind of keep it like a little bit buried. But like, when I've seen somebody leaving a comment like that they got screwed too, like, I've been replying to the comments and being like, hey, yeah, me too. It's not just you. I don't know. Sort of commiserating to try to make everybody feel better, I guess. So yeah, that's been the last few hours of my life. Really, really, really weird situation. The reason that this all came onto my radar is I have a couple of buried in my channel. Actually, these are public videos. So I have a couple of edits that I did from the shop. I actually took their name out of some of these because I didn't want to be associated with them anymore. There was a time period where I got really salty about this, and like, I didn't want them to. Oh, look at that. This is actually him driving it. I didn't want them to get any, like, positive benefits from my edits that I'd done. So these were some fun edits that I just did with the Insta360 Go. The actual GoPro Cinewhoop footage that I got is just sitting on the hard drive. I didn't release that to them to use it. So this was just some for fun stuff that I'd kind of did for them. This is a portfolio piece for me. I think this is, yeah, I used copyright-free music for this, actually. So yeah, I mean, I got something, and again, like, I haven't needed the car. I got to do this for some free, content for my own channel. There's T-Pain's car, actually, the Pickle Rick car right there, that this all blew up over. So yeah, I'm actually gonna put GMG back in the. Oh no, whatever. I don't care. But so yeah, and so I have a bunch of footage of this car, and now that it's like a thing that everybody's talking about, These videos, these couple of fly-through videos, have been getting comments over the past like 24 hours of people like just at first I didn't know what they were talking about, like fuck this guy and stuff like that, and then I kind of eventually pieced it together today. So yeah, that's what's been going on. So yeah, I have a bunch of footage of that car and of T-Pain that I'm going to be working through tonight and tomorrow. And yeah, I'm going to throw it up. I'm going to upload it with GMG Performance, George, and T-Pain in the titles and try to kind of capitalize a little bit and get... Because I know that... So people have been finding these videos by searching for GMG Automotive, George, T-Pain on YouTube. So I'm going to put a couple of videos up with those things specifically in the title to try to kind of take advantage of that a little bit. So yeah, you'll see some old drift footage from me popping up here over the next couple of days. Here's the car, actually. What did I put? Did I just leave the actual... I guess I just... Oh, this is just a raw... Is this a public? I thought this was... I thought I had this as unlisted. Maybe I just threw this up as public for funsies. Yeah, this was actually the event. This is the event that... and the night drift edit that I have up has a bunch of this footage in it, but this is just like a quick thing that I threw up 2 years ago. I think I just threw this up real quick to send this to George, because I think George had said, like, hey man, you have any footage from my run at that event? And I was like, yeah, and so I think that's why maybe I just threw this up and left it public. Because I didn't, it doesn't even look like I graded this. But yeah, there you go. There's some ancient history for you. So yeah, I'm gonna try to, I don't know, get a little bit of something. A couple more subscribers, I guess, from using the algorithm to my advantage, basically. And I don't really feel scummy doing it because, like, I kind of got screwed on this whole thing, you know? I would love to have had the Miata back. But, hey, that's life sometimes. So let's move on and talk about FPV things, because that's what this is here on CiottiFPV.com. In the chat, Paul McDonald was first, Glenn Burnett was next, Chopper FPV, Great Southern FPV and RC, Riot 9, Justin the Guy, Sleepy CBR, Danzilla the Terrible, Juju Diaz, Frank Nicholas, B-Man, Kiz Bartlett, Dan Richmond again, Michael D, Metal Dirtskin, PJ, Northern Tier, David Ciotti, my father is in the chat, what's up, Dad? B-Man FPV, Michael D, Riot 9, Ethan W, Marcel Off Axis, Ethan W, and June Loco. If you want the gangly man to read your name, you gotta get in early. Gotta say something in the chat. If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, you can either do a super chat if you want to support the madness that is trying to do FPV as a full-time thing, or you can just type at CiottiFPV, and I always look out for the little orange tags there. If you want to support me, the best possible way to do so is to head over to CiottiFPV.com. Patreon helps me out the most. 3 of the 4 giveaways tonight are for patrons. So to get in on either one or all 3 of those giveaways, you got to jump onto my Patreon. $5 a month will put you in the Tiny Whoop and Toothpick giveaway. $10 a month will put you on the 3-inch Micro Brushless and Cinewhoop giveaway. $20 a month will put you into the 5-inch giveaway. The price of those tiers is related to the price that I pay, and or some people send me stuff, the value of the stuff being given away. If you have, and also, like, if you only fly Tiny Whoops, you can only enter to win Tiny Whoop stuff. If you fly all that stuff and you want to be a super crazy supporter and help me maybe get health insurance someday, there's a $30 and up tier where you get entered into all 3 of the giveaways. So for that tier, you're going to get entered into 6 giveaways a month because I do these every other Monday. And tonight's the night. We usually do them around 11 o'clock or so, basically whenever I get caught on the chat, which takes some time. There's a bunch of other ways you can support me. Affiliate links don't cost you anything, and they make a huge difference. They are free money. Get FPV, FPV Cycle, Flywoo, Camera Butter. There's a whole bunch over there. We Bleed FPV. I have affiliate links to a whole bunch of sites. Next time you're ordering stuff on the Amazon, I have an Amazon affiliate link. I know you're ordering stuff from Amazon. You can change your bookmark or your autofill link to my Amazon affiliate link, and then you don't even have to think about it. Help a brother out. Let's get that free money going so I can keep doing this and keep doing these free, 10 hours of free live streams a week, every week, forever, because I will. This is fun. I like hanging out with you guys. But I gotta be able to eat. Look how skinny I am. All right. In the chat, Justin the Guy says, hello, CiottiFPV and Gangly Gang. I remember the first time I got a universal remote, I thought to myself, well, this changes everything. Remember universal remotes? Jesus, how times have changed. They still sell universal remotes. They have like screens on them and shit, but they still sell universal remotes. Last time I checked, actually, a couple of years ago. B-Man says, hiya, weo, CiottiFPV, what's up, fam? Kiz Bartlett says, hey, CiottiFPV and Gangly Gang, I remember when I farted in a lift once. It was wrong on so many levels. I fart everywhere, man. It's if my body's like, yo, there's a fart available, that shit's coming out. That fucker's coming out. It's coming out right away. If I'm with people I trust, it's coming out loudly. If not, silent but deadly time. It's coming out, though. I ain't getting a fucking stomachache because you don't want to smell my poo gas. Sorry. That's just not how it's going down. There's times that I'll hold it in. Very rarely, though. Very, very rarely. Check this out. Speaking of giveaway stuff... The one and only Paul McDonald in chat sent me a little care package for stuff that he had floating around that he thought might be cool for giveaways. So you'll see this stuff in giveaways. Shout out to Paul. Thank you, brother. This is, I think this is 2 CL1 frames. So somebody's going to build a big old basher with these. We got a bunch of TPU here. And then this is a squirt frame. So yeah, 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewoop tier item at some point in the future. And then some 5-inch tier frame loving with a bunch of TPU. Thank you very much, Paul. Very, very cool of you. If you are also too lazy to sell your stuff, I do not mean for that to be insulting in any way. Yeah, let me know. And if it's like, I try not to just give away garbage. But that's a perfect example. Like that's CL1 is not my favorite frame, but it's a perfectly good frame. It's not a perfectly good frame. It's an okay frame. Great for a basher rig, right? Like put together a garbage rig with all your garbage stuff and just smash it into walls. That's fun, right? Yeah. So even like stuff that's broken though, like I don't have a use for that, but yeah. If it's stuff that I think, like, don't just send me stuff. I mean, you won't have my address, but like check with me and say like, hey, I have this, and this, any use for it? And it's like every once in a while I'll say no. If like I just, yeah, if it's too old or if it's like actually worthless, I'll be like, no, that's not, thank you, but no thanks. But yeah, that's some really cool stuff that that Paul sent. Much appreciated, brother. Let me get caught up on chat here. PJ says, what's up, Collective and CiottiFPV? Michael D says, hope CiottiFPV is feeling better today. I'm not. I'm not feeling better today. I haven't felt better in like a week. For like a week, I wake up every day. Here's my day for the last week. Luckily, previous to a week ago, every day I was feeling better. But for the last week, maybe not quite a full week, but whatever. I wake up, I feel horrible in the morning. Fucking awful. Almost every morning, I'm like, I can't. Today ain't it. I can't stream today. I feel absolutely awful. I feel like I haven't slept. My face is just a mess. My throat, my chest, everything sucks. And and then slowly, like, I'll eat, I'll like laze around a little bit, and like slowly I'll start to feel a little bit better. And then by the time it's time to stream here, I feel like somewhat acceptable. But I still don't feel great. Like, I'm sure you guys can hear it in my voice. And yeah, I'm gonna try. Last night I was extra excited for, not last night, yesterday during the day, our 3 o'clock stream. I was extra excited, so I was screaming and yelling for half the stream, and that caught up with me towards the end of the stream, and I had like a big coughing fit. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more calm tonight, in hopes that there's not a 10-minute block of this stream with me just hacking my fucking guts out. For anybody that doesn't know, I got either the flu or COVID, or maybe both, I don't know. Our 16-year-old Sage had the flu, 12-year-olds, Felix and Maggie and I all had COVID. We all tested positive for COVID. Sage had COVID a month ago. So yeah, it's been fucking infirmary up in here. And Felix feels better, which is great. Sage is still kind of suffering. Maggie and I just feel like shit. It's just this like nagging everything. The thing that like everybody that's had COVID says is just like this just nagging, annoying, never go away thing. Yeah, I'm in that. So and like it's funny. Like Maggie and I are getting like so frustrated. Like it's just every day. Like at some point, one of us is like, I'm so fucking sick of this. And like I think it's because and. I think it's just because we're used to like, it's like in America, I guess in the world, we're used to just being able to like take a bunch of medicine and have like feeling like crap go away in half a week. Whereas with this, there's nothing you can do. Like you just have to wait. And it's just, and like, I appreciate you guys saying like, feel better, go rest. But like, and I apologize if I've like yelled at anyone, but like the past couple of streams, like towards the end of the stream, people have been like, oh, go rest, bro, go rest. And like, I'm getting all snappy about it because I'm like, I don't want to go rest. Like, I'm sick of going and resting. I want to work. I want to do this. I want to work. I don't want to rest. I'm sick of resting. So I apologize if I've snapped at you guys about that, but stop telling me to go rest. I don't want to rest. I want to not fucking rest anymore. I'm sick of resting. It's boring. God damn it. I've like during the course of all of this, I like easily blasted through all of Better Call Saul. There are like 5 seasons of that show, and like every episode is like an hour. That's like a big show to watch, and I just like blew right through it, just trying to rest and not. So yeah, I don't feel better. I feel just good enough to do this. I appreciate you guys caring, but stop telling me to go rest. I don't want to rest anymore. Oh, I decided a few days ago, I'm like, I don't care. I'm not resting anymore. I'm just going to start working on quads. I'm going to start going out and flying. I'm going to start like being productive again. So to hell with it. I just, you know what really sucks is like I hate building. I really hate building when I feel like shit. But I'm just like, the stubbornness is just like, nope, I'm gonna build. So yeah. Juju Diaz says, I bought an ELRS Mobulus 6 and it came with 19,000 kV motors, not 26,000 kV motors off of RDQ. Also, it wobbles back and forth at full throttle. Is that the motors or the tune? If you bought a rig and it wobbles back and you haven't changed anything and it wobbles back and forth at full throttle, return it. Don't like, we have a tendency to like think that we broke these rigs because all we do is break these rigs. But like, yeah, if you get a new rig and it doesn't fly perfect out of the box, contact whoever you bought it from and be like, hey, this doesn't fly perfect. Send me one that does. In your case, I would actually try to get your money back because the 19,000 kV motors are worthless. The 26,000 kV motors are way better. What you really want are the Weebleed FPV 0702 28,500s, or when Tiny Whoop gets them back in stock, their 0702 30,000s. 26,000s will get you by. They're totally fine. But the 19,000s are just completely worthless. So yeah, get in touch with RDQ and be like, yo, this thing doesn't fly right. And I would also say, like, I thought that this was going to come with the 26,000 kV motors. Can you send me one with the 26,000 kV motors? Do that as tactfully as you possibly can, because, and understand that they can say, fuck off, you ordered what you ordered. We'll send you another one of what you ordered. But yeah, I would do not spend your time or money trying to fix a rig that doesn't fly perfectly out of the box, because A, you're probably not going to be able to fix it. There's probably something like physically wrong with it, because they put the same tunes, all the same ones and zeros are on all the rigs that they send out. So if, unless they all fly like ass, which is typically not the case, sometimes it is. But in the Mobula 6 ELRS's case, that is not true. Well, I've never personally heard anything about the 19,000 kV version, but the 26,000 kV version flies great out of the box. So yeah, don't waste your time troubleshooting something that should be performing perfectly out of the box. You didn't buy on RDQ's product page. It doesn't say, warning, rig flies like a bag of smashed assholes. So you didn't sign up for that. So yeah, get in touch with them and say, hey, this doesn't fly right, I'm sending it back. They'll probably ask you for like a video, so be ready for that. Get a little DVR ready. Just put it in your original email, to be honest with you. Just say, hey, this doesn't fly right. I don't know how to tune. You need to send me one that flies right. Don't play this game of them, like, if they try to say, like, oh, well, you need to decrease your TPA, or don't play that game. Like, I paid for a rig that works. You're going to send me a rig that works. Like, that's not unreasonable. Like, it is unreasonable for them to not just immediately say, okay, once you've shown them what it's doing wrong. They have all the right in the world to be like, hey, give us some proof. That's totally fine. But if they try to play this game of like, oh, well, you need to change the tune, like, no. That ain't it. So that's my recommendation. A Cable says, hello everyone. Send it to CiottiFPV. Aber the Hand with a $9.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, thanks for all the sends you're getting. It's okay. It's well worth it, Aber. Thank you, dude. Carbon Cage says, you big, beautiful, gangly bastard. Love from upside down land. Big and little Cage, how the hell are you? J Barnes FPV says, what's up? CiottiFPV has been sent. Casey Henderson says, hey, buddy. Hey, Bot Grinder's in the house. What's up, brother? He says, yo, Ciotti, I got my package like 2 weeks ago. I forgot to thank you. Thanks, bro. You're welcome. Bot Grinder won a Tiny Whoop and Toothpick tier giveaway 2 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago. Bot actually won a set of the We Bleed FPV Gore 28,500 kV 0702s. And I'm hoping that he's going to do a build with it, and I'll see some content about it over on his channels. Huge thank you to We Bleed FPV. They sent over those motors. They sent over a set of batteries that somebody won 2 weeks ago. They sent over a set of gates that somebody's going to win on the next giveaway. Yeah, head over to We Bleed FPV and support those guys. They've been supporting the shit out of me lately. And yeah, they make some really, really, really good stuff. I do have an affiliate link, so do me a favor and click it if you do some ordering. Metal Dirtson says, can you get sick through your eye holes by watching YouTube? Missed the last few streams, rewatched part of one, now I'm coming down with something. Nah, man, it's just everybody in the whole wide world is sick right now. 661 FPV says, just watch that T-Pain link, CiottiFPV. Yeah, it's pretty nuts, man. How do you do that? How do you do what that shop did to a celebrity? Are you out of your fucking mind? You're going to take a celebrity for a ride for 2 years and not give them their car back and jerk them around? Are you insane? Do you have any business sense whatsoever? Like, doing it to me is one thing. Like, look at this fucking gangly guy. Who's he think he is? He doesn't even have 7,000 subscribers. We're going to screw him over. Sure. That won't backfire at all. I don't know. Like 5 people watch from Atlanta and they're not into cars, and it's an FPV channel, right? Like, I get it. Screw over the FPV pilot. That's fine. Don't fucking screw over T-Pain. Are you out of your minds? Motherfucker's got millions and millions of fans. Like, he puts one video up and he can just demolish your entire business that your dad busted his ass to build, and now you're driving into the ground. What the fuck? Oh my God. What in the hell? So yeah, just crazy. And T-Pain said that he's been getting so many messages from people that have also gotten screwed over. Like so many stories from people that are just like mine. So just what the hell, man. Bob Knox is in the house. He says, "What's up, collective and CiottiFPV?" Marcel Alfax's FPV says, "That sucks. Sorry, buddy. It's all right. It is what it is." I haven't been in the car ever since I moved south. I haven't been able to afford to be into cars, and like this whole situation just kind of cemented that, and just kind of made me like all the way give up on cars, which is fine, man. You know, my 20s and like half of my 30s were spent being like really into the car scene, and back then the car scene was also very different than it is now. Like the car scene is now filled with like a lot of fake ass people that are like really awful. Like drifting has had a very negative effect on the car scene, and the car scene down here in the South is also particularly toxic. So like, and it's fine, man. I put a bunch of time in. I met a bunch of incredible people and had a lot of just wonderful experiences. And it's like, you know, all this shit that's happened has just like cemented the fact that like I'm just not destined to be in that world anymore. And quite frankly, with the way that scene is down here, I don't want to. I don't want anything to do with that. And also with the way that it's kind of changed in the past like 5 to 10 years. So yeah, it's totally fine. Don't like. I don't want you guys to. This is not me trying to get you guys to like feel bad for me. Like, don't fucking feel bad for me. I put 15 years into one of the more expensive hobbies. I was very lucky to have gotten to spend that time. I was very lucky to have got to spend so much time on track and instructing and doing all these awesome things. Like, please don't. I hope this doesn't come off as like, oh, woe is me, feel bad for me. That's not what it is. This is what happened in my life today, and this is, you know, I have to talk for 8 hours a week. So sometimes I just talk about the shit that's happened in my life, and I think you guys enjoy it. I get a fair number of messages like, thanks for keeping it real. Thanks for talking about shit, whatever. So, I don't know. I'm going to keep doing it until you guys tell me to stop. 661 says, better go get your car ASAP. 661 also says, just send the tow truck. Morton Upshot says, time to rent a flatbed and pick up your car becomes a garage asset. Believe me, my car is not... my Miata is not a garage asset. It's a wart in their parking lot. Frank Nicholas says, small claims court, no lawyer needed for your car/money. Newt FPV with a $5 super chat. Thank you, homie. He said, nice, Newt. Comment is $1,595. Thank you, brother. Very cool of you. Oh, shit. A Cables, YouTube just did the thing. Scrolling back up. Squirrely FPV with a $1.99 super chat. He says, small claims court don't need a lawyer for less than $5K. If I go down that road, fine. But for right now, like I've talked about 10 minutes ago, I just, maybe they'll get the work done. We'll see. I'm going to give it a little bit of time. Thank you guys, though. Much appreciated. Kevin Sumner says, if the shop goes under and headed over to creditors, you might not be able to get the car back because it might be locked up while they sift through the assets. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, in my mind, I was like, well, eventually I'll get it back no matter what. Like, they don't own it. But that's interesting. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I got to think through it some more. Demo FPV says, hey, CiottiFPV and Collective. Kevin Sumner dropping the Patreon link. Thank you, homie. 661 says, oh, shit, I didn't know you had an Amazon link. We'll be using it next time. Thank you, brother. Marcel Alfaxis with a $1.49 Canadian super chat and a little hot dog. That's the coolest emoji ever. Everybody, if you can't, if there's nothing that you want to say in your super chat, always use the hot dog emoji. That'll make me smile bigger than any other emoji. License to Drive says, I was disappointed to discover my universal remote control did not, in fact, control the universe. Did not, in fact, control the universe. It was worth a shot. We're not living inside of, unfortunately, we are not living inside of, fuck me, I said the thing twice in hopes that I would remember the name of the movie, and book, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. There it is. The End of the Terrible says, for Maggie's sake, I hope you hold it in once in a while. Yeah, when it comes to, like, people that I love that I don't want to be seen as disgusting with. Although she's a pretty good sport about it. We had the conversation pretty early on in our relationship. Like, we're human beings. Human beings do gross things sometimes. It's okay. So yeah, I don't like. Yeah, I'm not gross about it. Let's just leave it at that. CMYK, if you say what's good, man. CMYK says what's good, man. How you feeling today? Shitty, but I'm alive and I'm hanging out with my favorite fucking people. So. Can't really complain too loudly. Kevin Sumner says, welcome to long COVID. It took me 2+ months to feel fully better after getting OG COVID in December of 2020. Yeah, I'm hoping that our 2022 COVID is a lot weaker, because if I have to deal with this for 2 months, I'm going to cut my head off with a dull knife. Denzo the Terrible says, get some essential oils in you. Yeah. Nope. It's me, your friend, says, yo, tell me more about this 3-inch frame you're developing. It looks like this. This is still like version 0.1. I've already asked Ryan to make a bunch of changes to it. Right here, this is just going to get abused to see where it breaks. Current plan. So I started building it last night. Current plan is that so Ryan Harrell, who runs Mini Quad Test Bench, he asked me like 6 months ago. He's like, hey man, that frame design that I did for you, do you mind if I use that with GetFPV? They're looking for another 3-inch frame, and like it was a great design, and you know, like whatever. And I was like, nah, dude, it's totally cool. Like I didn't pay you or anything like that. Like this was just a fun little project that we worked on together. So GetFPV is actually going to have a 5-inch version of this frame coming out soon, as well as a 3-inch version of this frame. But what Ryan and I were talking about last night about doing, which I really like this idea, is so the initial message that I sent him last night was, hey man, can we do a split base plate version of this frame? Because this is just a solid base plate, like very straightforward school bus style, 3-inch freestyle frame. We don't really have any removable arms, which we don't really have. The BQE Ripsqueak was like the one, and the BQE Ripsqueak is kind of why I haven't done anything with this frame, because I've had that built and it flies really nice, and so I've just been flying those. But now that the Ripsqueak has been out of stock for so long, there really isn't a lightweight single 20x20 stack 3-inch freestyle frame out there that ticks all the boxes for me. Removable arms, carbon fiber weave going in the right direction, blah, 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 blah. So that's why I'm way more invested in getting this thing off the ground now. So I said, hey, Ryan, can we do a split base plate version of this? We started talking about it, blah, 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 blah. I think what we want to do with this, so GetFPV is going to have this, something similar to this, solid base plate, blah, blah, blah. And it'll just be like a frame, just like everything else. I want to do something a little different. You guys are like me. You like tinkering. You like building. You like dialing stuff in. So what I think, and Ryan was like, we can still make your version of it, Ciotti Special Edition, blah, blah, blah. Fine, whatever. What I would like to do is not just sell like a frame, but sell like a little like ecosystem. That's what happens when I say like corporate jargony douchey words. What I want to sell is a frame that comes with 6 heavy-duty arms, 6 lightweight arms. Maybe not. Maybe we won't double up the arms. We'll see. There'll definitely be 2 versions of it. There'll be a lightweight version. There'll be a heavyweight version of it. Lightweight version will come with lighter, weaker arms. Heavyweight version, heavier duty arms. What I do want to include with all of the kits is 2 completely different base plate setups, a split base plate and a solid base plate, so that you can pick how you build it. You can build it as a split base plate, and the split base plate thing is cool because if you're building it with a run cam hybrid, you need 28 millimeters of height in the front to clear the run cam hybrid camera with 30 degrees of up tilt. I think we're actually going to ship it with 30 millimeter. So when you do split base plate, you got to have different length standoffs in the front versus the rear. So the way it's going to work out, I think it's going to ship with 30 millimeter standoffs for the front and 25s for the back, just to make it easier for everyone to build it. And then if you're insane like I am, you can go on Pyrodrone, and they sell 28 millimeter standoffs and 23 millimeter standoffs. There's going to be a 5 millimeter difference in height between the front and the rear. So I think for simplicity's sake, because Pyrodrone had those 28s, I think the 28s they might have just been able to order, but they had 23 millimeter standoffs made way back one for the Glide, actually. So I don't think you can get the 23 millimeter standoffs anywhere other than Pyrodrone. Maybe I can get like a bulk deal from Pyrodrone, but regardless, the 30 millimeter standoffs you can just get anywhere, and the 25. So I have a feeling that, not that I'm going to sell many of these things, so I probably only have to get like 100 of each, and it'll be fine. But yeah, I'm thinking for simplicity's sake, depending on what Pyrodrone says, maybe they give me a great deal on the 28s and the 23s, and then we're good. But for simplicity, maybe it'll be 30s and 25s. But so basically, if you're building it with a run cam hybrid, you've got your split base plate design that you can build it out with that. You could certainly also build it out with the solid base plate with the run cam hybrid, but it's, you know, not as custom and cool. And then what's one of the other really cool things is the solid base plate. The solid base plate, if you were going to build it for the run cam hybrid, you would build it normally with the base plate. You'd build it normally with this would be the top, so you'd put your ESC flight controller, and then your jib jab on top, right? But if you were going to do, you could do a slammed build like this, and you could put the arms inside of the frame like this. So it'll be a setup where you can literally build it 3 completely different ways, which is like new and cool and fun, right? And like the only thing that we need to do is include both base plate designs. And then also you've got a spare base plate, right? So if you buy just one and then you break your base plate, you can switch it to or from the split base plate design. So I think that's kind of cool. And then I think since there's an extra base plate, why not throw in an extra top plate? Maybe we throw in a 1.5 millimeter top plate and a 2 millimeter top plate. So yeah, like I thought that would kind of be cool, right? Like you've got something that's kind of configurable, and then and with, now that I'm thinking through it too, like if there's going to be 2 versions of it, one with thinner, lighter arms, one with heavier arms, including the double central canopy stuff. Instead of there being 4 different versions of the frame, what do you want? Split base plate with light arms? Great. Split plate with the heavy arms? Good. Instead of having 4 different SKUs, there's just 2 versions of it: thin arms, thick arms. So yeah, but that's quite a ways away. I need to slam this pretty good, break it. This is the heavyweight version of it. I need to build this up and break it. And then Ryan will go back and adjust the design a little bit, and then and then I think what I'll do is have CNC Madness up in Canada cut a bunch as prototypes that you guys can get in on. I will sell you the prototypes at cost, whatever the cost is from CNC Madness, and you have to understand that CNC Madness is kind of like the worst of the carbon fiber cutters. And that's the whole point. I want the prototypes to be as shitty as possible to see where they break. And you're signing up for that. It's probably still going to be pretty damn strong because they don't do like terrible work, but of the places that cut carbon fiber, CNC Madness is known to be like the quickest, the cheapest, and you get what you pay for. So yeah, that's kind of the situation. But this needs to get built first. It's almost 11 o'clock already, so we probably won't have much time to work on this. But yeah, I'm hoping to get this built out the rest of the way this week and start beating it up. And then I'll either do a separate build with this one, or maybe I'll just slam that one really hard until it breaks and just use this as replacement parts. I think I have 1 or 2 extra of these lightweight 3-bolt hole arms, so I can break 1 or 2 of those arms and replace them. And then at some point, I'll move it over to these heavier weight arms to see if I can break these guys. These heavier weight arms have 4 screw holes in them, and they're I think 0.5 millimeter thicker. These thinner arms, as you can see down here, only have 3 holes in them, and 3 holes might work, but we're gonna find out. Three holes in the arms thing. It's there's a theory behind doing it that says that it's stronger, but in practice, in talking to Ryan, he's done that on frames before. In practice, he doesn't think it's as strong as having a 4-hole arm. So we're gonna figure that out. I'll hopefully be able to tell by where it breaks whether or not the 3-hole thing is a good idea. It doesn't really save that much weight. It doesn't save enough weight to really I think it makes sense for the lighter weight arms to be 3-hole. Save weight on the lighter weight arm. But I think that the heavier duty arm is going to be 4 holes. We'll see. License to Drive says, sick of resting. Yep, I know about that from Lingard. I'm sick of being sick. Kids Bartlett says, when your family got COVID, the kids were fine, but the adults weren't for 2 days. All I could smell was what smelled like pennies and wet socks. Oh, God. I read that wrong. When our family got COVID, the kids were fine, but the adults weren't. That sounds awful. Kids. Morton Upshot says, no rest. Send it. B-Man says, F rest. Rest when you're dead. I'll be fine. B-Man says, you'll be fine. Effing autocorrect. I read it in my head the way that you wanted to type it. Jesse Garcia says, CiottiFPV and gang, ever had a hawk come after a 5-inch? Yep. I was out flying in an office park, landed and pulled my goggles off, and the big-ass hawk standing 15 feet from me, about 5 feet from my quad, eyeballing me. Yeah, man, the birds own the sky. We're just visitors up there. They own it, and you got to respect that. It is their domain, not ours. It's one of the coolest things, like the first time that I ever flew with like a little group of birds. They were turkey buzzards in Charleston. There was a bunch of them overhead. I'm like, oh shit, it was a micro. I got up there and it was nice and quiet, and I got real close into them, and they're kind of flying around circling, and like within 30 seconds of being up there with them, it just hit me like this is where they live. Like, this is their domain. I think what happened is, like, once or twice I got a little bit too close, and they just like, woof, gone. And it just their like mastery of the sky, right? Because I'm up there with a robot, and I'm like, yeah, my robot flies good, man. I can keep up with these guys. I'm maneuverable, and just nope, I'm out. And yeah, it was just this really cool feeling of like, oh, yeah, okay, they own this. This is I'm in their world. I'm just a passerby. I'm just a visitor. Yeah, that's always kind of stuck with me. And whenever there's birds like in the area, if I hear them or if I see one, I'm like, it's all good, brother. I'm just visiting. Don't get me. And of course, we've all seen tons of videos of hawks snatching Mavics out of the sky and whatnot. They don't give a shit. And I'm very I'm terrified to hurt one of them. Like ripping a Mavic out of the sky is not going to hurt a bird because the props are folding and all that shit, and there's no power. But a 5-inch rig with the props that we spin hitting a bird, like that ain't going to be a good day, man. I would just feel awful. Like, birds are super cool. I don't want to have that on my conscience. Just like you don't want to run over somebody's cat, right? I feel terrible. What's up, Ribby Tim? B-Man says, all y'all GMG clans should storm the gates with pitchforks and torches. Marcella, YouTube said the thing again. Come on. There it is. Marcelo Vaxa says, same thing happened to the skate family I had, bro. Yeah, in life, you get into things and then a lot of times you get out of things. Like that's, you can look at that as like, oh, I bailed on it because I couldn't afford it anymore, or like the scene changed or whatever. Like, flip it around, man. Look at it like I spent a bunch of time doing that thing. I had a lot of fun, and now I'm gonna do something else. Like the build up of like getting into shit, right? It's like you get into something, you learn more, you learn more, you learn more. Like eventually you've learned so much that like, sure, it's still fun, but like for me at least, there's a lot of like, well, I'm super invested in this, I'm not just gonna throw that away. Like, no, like throw it away. Like there's other stuff. Like do other stuff. There's so many things to do, and a lot of the joy is during that like build up phase. You know what I mean? Like you could probably argue that like there's more joy, that like there's more joy and happiness in the first like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years that you're into something than when you've been into it for 10 or 15 or 20 years. I find a ton of joy being really good at shit and being like the OG that's been around for a long time and like refining them and finding those, like getting a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better and learning all like the super nitty gritty. Like that's really, really, really fun to me too. But yeah, I don't know. I try my best to just change the story, you know, in my head and not play like the victim card of like, oh, I was super into this, but then it changed and I got fucked up. Like, it's too easy to do that, right? And it doesn't really accomplish anything, and it just puts you in like a negative space. Like, screw that. Flip it around. Think about it and move forward. It's, you know, lots of fun stuff to do out there. You just gotta go do it. It's wild though, like you're super into something, you're super good at it, and then you start something new and you're like, man, I suck at this. Ugh. Like personally, I don't like not being good at shit, you know? So, but yeah, I just try to remind myself that like it's yeah. Off Axis says, I like hearing about the real you and the real feels, dude. That's why we like you. You're as real as it gets, and that's what sells, not some fake ass wannabe. Thank you, brother. I try my best. I just fucking put it all. I mean, not all of it anymore, but I just kind of put it all out there, and it is what it is. That's just what it is to be me. Shirt of the day. You could buy it on Teespring. You'd like. Yeah, I don't know. That's I don't. There was a time that I really put it all out there, and I talked a lot about mental health, and that was back when we had those Therapy Thursday streams, and I found that to be a little bit too much. As much as I wanted to continue to do those because I want to smash the stigma around specifically men's mental health. It was a little too much for me. It was a little too difficult to do that. And it's unfortunately in the world that we live in, it's not great to put all that shit out there. Like if I have to go on a job interview and they search for my name and a Therapy Thursday stream comes up where I'm talking about the fact that I have depression and anxiety and all this other shit, guess what? Guess who ain't getting hired, right? So, like, unfortunately, in the world that we currently live in, it's just not a great idea to put all that shit out there. And it's not just that, but I mean, there's other shit. So, I'll still talk about it. If anybody ever asks me about it, I will absolutely always talk about it. But it's just not something that I've decided to make like a part of my repertoire. I was going to do those streams every single Thursday. It was also incredibly draining for me to talk about that stuff. And yeah, if I'd kept doing it every week, I would have had to dig deeper and deeper and deeper and talk about more and more and more and more of that shit. And I just saw the writing on the wall, and I just knew that it would not end well for me to kind of do that. So there's FPV Therapy, a Facebook group that's awesome. There's an FPV Therapy channel on my Discord that's open to everyone. No, it's not. It's actually only open to patrons because I want to respect your guys' privacy. The Facebook group is also private because, again, unfortunately, it has to be a little bit private. And so, yeah, that's kind of where that is at. And I wish I remembered to talk about it more, but I'm much more focused on trying to keep this thing going. But yeah, if you guys are ever curious about that kind of stuff, what's worked for me, what hasn't worked for me, anything really, you're always more than welcome to ask on a live stream, in a private message, wherever. I get like about a message a month from somebody that's struggling, that saw something that I said, and I reply back to every single one, and it's yeah, I do what I can. But it's tough. It's a really serious issue, and it's yeah, it's rough. But Abraham says, being young and into hobbies you can't afford, with a bank account constantly drained to zero, is a fun coming of age, but no reason to feel bad moving on. That's why I say FPV is cheap. Yeah, FPV is very cheap. Yeah, luckily, and luckily I was into cars when I lived up in New Jersey, where I was able to make really good money, and rent was a whole hell of a lot cheaper. Although that's not necessarily just New Jersey related. That's the times have changed, especially when it comes to rent lately. Past few years has been pretty nuts. FinFPV's in the house. What's up, homie? Kevin Sumner says, what are your thoughts on Cool Coyote's frame for freestyle? I've been thinking about doing a one-off build with it. Cool Coyote sent me his frame design a long time ago, and I felt terrible that I didn't get a chance to build it. He actually sent me an updated version of it a couple of months ago, and it's in like rotation. It's gonna get built at some point here. It's you know, somebody else's frame is unfortunately a little bit lower priority than my own, so it's gonna be a little bit. I have a feeling that the arms on his frame are maybe a little bit too thin. Maybe not, though. I mean, it depends on how you build it. Build it lightweight, for sure. Like, I would not go bigger than a 1404 motor. You might even want to go down to like a 1304 or a 1303. It's a really cool frame. It's a miniature glide. It's a 3-inch glide frame. Cool Coyote is on my Discord channel, and you can message him on Discord and buy one from him. I think last time I checked. Yeah, very cool little frame, little miniature glide, very, very, very lightweight. I love it. I wish I've had a chance to build it, but I just haven't. I will eventually, for sure. My frame is much more durable, and it's built for heavier payloads, heavier camera systems, heavier, bigger motors. So yeah, that's sort of the difference. If you're going to build it and you keep it light, it's probably going to fly fucking amazing. And the thin arms are going to break and save your motors, which is a really good thing. I want these arms to break on this rig. If I start bashing this and the arms won't break and I start breaking motors, I'm going to come back to Ryan and be like, yo, bro, thin up these arms, please. I want these arms to break. Cool Coyote's frame, the arms are going to break, and that is potentially going to save your motors, as we talk about all the time on here. That's why I love the glide frame. The arms are cheap and easy to replace. The motors are expensive and a pain in the ass to replace. What would you rather break? Something's going to break. Let's let it be an arm. Having a completely indestructible frame, the shit just rolls downhill, and you're going to start blasting through motors. No motors are really all that durable. So I'm not in the camp of flying 150 plus gram frames that are completely indestructible, because I've done that before, and my rigs were down the same exact amount as the glide rigs are, because the motors would break. Instead of the arm breaking, the motor would break, and then the motors are annoying to fix. The arms are easy to fix. So I'm all about arms breaking, but there is a point where the arm is so skinny that like it breaks too often. So that's this game that you got to play, and your build. A lot of that depends on your build. If you build a frame with skinny arms, nice and light, you've catered your build to the frame. This is why the folks that have done the build planning services with me on Fiverr, who've bought a half an hour of my time to go one-on-one, talk about what they're doing with it and all this. It's one of the reasons that they've loved those sessions, is because I have a really good feel for all that stuff, and I can help you do that. And I can help you make sure that the frame that you're planning on buying is going to work correctly with the rest of the build, so that you don't have a situation where the arms are indestructible and you break tons of motors, or the arms are too skinny for the weight of the build and you break a million arms. So yeah. Bugs FPV tagged me but didn't say anything. Oh, no, here he goes. He says, do you know of a good place to get individual frames cut? I designed a couple, but only want like one or two. I previously I thought that Woodchuck was the spot to have that done, but Woodchuck blew me off a bunch of times, and I just wanted to give him my money, and he just refused. He not refused, but he just never got back to me. So I can't really recommend Woodchuck, unfortunately, just because. Yeah, they just blew me off a whole bunch of times in a row. CNC Madness is really the only place that I know of. I don't know if they can just do one or two. I think that they can, but yeah, CNC Madness, I think that's your spot. Kevin Sumner says, what are your thoughts? Oh, no, we got that. Juju Diaz says, I have to go to bed. See you guys later. Thanks for the feedback. Everybody else who responded to me. B-Man says, I'm totally down for a prototype. Jason Crabtree says, for the cost, it would be cool to have an everything pack with all the options, but then parts to maintain the configuration that we prefer. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do an everything pack with all the arms, because I just don't think that makes sense. I think I'm basically going to do, like, hey, 150 to 200 grams planned all up weight, thin arms. 200 to 250 grams, thick arms, something like that. That probably won't be the exact. It'll probably be closer to like 250, it'll probably be like 220 to 260, or maybe even 280, and then like 160 to 220. That'll probably be closer to the bracket. Because the arms are expensive. The arms use a lot of carbon. So yeah, I don't. There'll probably there probably will not be an everything pack with all the arms, but I really like this idea of a thin and a thick top plate, and then both split base plate and solid base plate. I really just, I don't know. In the past 24 hours, I'm like, yeah, that is such a cool idea, because you know that's just fun to be able to mess around with all that. So we'll see. Bob Noxus says, I'm ready for this testing. I'll pay for it and smile when I destroy it. 661 says 3.5-inch arms for that frame, 4-inch, 2.5-inch. I'm thinking that I'll do what I'm thinking I'll basically just steal BQE's idea of making the arms just barely big enough for 3.5-inch props. We're going to see. Once this thing is built, I'm going to see how close the 3.5-inch props are to clearing. If the 3.5-inch props are close to clearing, then we'll go down that road. If they're not, I don't think I'm going to go down that road, because this frame doesn't make sense for 3.5 or 4-inch arms. It doesn't even really make sense for 2.5-inch arms either. If you want to run 2.5-inch props, you just buy the lightweight arm version of the frame. And there's a lot of people that still like the way smaller props fly on slightly longer arms. So yeah. But the all-up weight that this thing should be built at, it doesn't really make sense for 3.5-inch props rather. So I'll probably just force you guys to build it as a 3-inch, because it's going to perform better. It just is. But we'll see if enough of you guys want it. Hey Ryan, can you make a 3.5-inch arm? Sure, and then get a sheet of them cut, and it is what it is. But I'll probably push you guys to build it the way that I think that it should be built, because I've built so many of these things that I just know what setup is going to give you the best flying experience. And like, I'm just as guilty of this as anybody else. I always think that my idea is the best. And so to prevent you guys from going through that same thing, if I only give you the option that I know is going to perform the best, the problem is, like, my idea of performing the best is different than everybody else. But my idea of performing the best is based around trying to get a rig that flies like a 5-inch. And I think we can all agree that 5-inch rigs fly the best. Why wouldn't they? They've had 100 times more R&D effort spent on them. So yeah, I kind of specifically want to force you guys into a way of building it. Ryan really pushed me hard to extend the rear end of this thing for a second 20x20 stack. And I'm like, dude, no, like, I'm not giving people that option. The additional 20x20 stack typically ends up with the rig being too heavy for a 3-inch prop. That would be a 3.5-inch rig. So if down the road there's a 3.5-inch version of this, it'll have a 20 by 20. It'll have double 20 by 20 mounting. But set up the way the whole point of this frame is single 20 by 20 mount, lightweight nano VTx, little tiny receiver. They're all little now, so that doesn't even matter. 20 by 20 ESC, 20 by 20 flight controller. Maybe that's it. Maybe run cam hybrid with the third 20 by 20 board. This one that I'm building is actually getting HDZero. So the HDZero board is the additional 20 by 20 board up on top. So you can build it with that. Walk Snail does not currently have a 20 by 20 option, I don't think. At some point, they should. So maybe at some point you can build it with that as well. Technically speaking, you could put a naked Vista into it. So you could do a DJI build with it as well. But yeah, that's sort of the philosophy behind it. And I'm going, as long as I possibly can, I'm going to resist the urge to make a million different versions of it so everybody can build their own specific version. I kind of specifically want to focus you guys in and make you build it the way that I have found these micros are the best. And also that's going to push you guys into a run cam hybrid, and you're going to love the run cam hybrid. That's kind of another thing. Like I want to force people to build these similar to the Ripsqueaks that I have, these 3-inch rigs with run cam hybrids in them, because it's just fucking magic. It really is. So yeah, there you go. We got that. Bugs FPV says, what are some of the higher end places? Places? What do you, tag me again, Bugs. Ask me that same question, but give me a little bit more to go off of. I don't know what you mean by places. You asked that question probably 4 hours ago. Oh, we got to get to giveaways. Let me get caught up on chat as quick as I can here. Kiz Bartlett says, I got the new F4 Lite AIO having a weird issue. Fresh battery, plug it in, and it reads 2.7 volts. Unplug it and plug it straight, and it reads fine. What? I've already done the min-max voltage. That, I can't imagine a world where that's not a blown up AIO. So yeah, the easy answer for me to give is to get back in touch with whoever you bought that from and say, yo, here's what it's doing. Send me a fresh one, because this one's obviously broken. There's nothing in the software that's going to have anything to do with that, right? Like the software is not going to just, hey, every time I boot up, I'm going to show you every other time I boot up, right? So yeah, that's, well, no, you know what that is? That's a capacitance thing. So you let it sit, the capacitors unload, and they don't have any voltage left in them. You plug a battery in, that charges the capacitors back up. It does that weird thing. You unplug it, all the capacitors still have some juice in them. You plug it back in. All that being, so that's why it's happening, but you're not going to fix it. So I would still do the same thing. I would still contact whoever you bought it from and say, hey, this ain't working right. I don't want to deal with this. Maybe just deal with it, because it's a lot less effort than mailing it back, dealing with their customer service, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do to help that. Paul McDonald says, I'm telling down to invent in some testing carbon. If you're down, invest. Jason Crabtree says, please don't pull a CB3 on us and make the perfect build, then just disappear. Yeah, this is also the continuation of the CB3. It's now happened with the CB3 and the Ripsqueak, sort of. Although Bill will be back, but yeah, the CB3 was awesome and it disappeared. Ripsqueak was awesome, now kind of disappeared. Yeah, I'll do my best. 661 says, one of my favorite things about the Ripsqueak was different size arm options for different prop sizes. Me too, but man, I spent an awful lot of time going back and forth building it with all different arms just to end up with the original old school 3-inch arms. Yeah, I don't know. Let's build it the way that I want you to build it too for a while, and then you can just continue to beat on me, and eventually I'll run out of resistance and I'll do whatever you guys want me to do. but build it the way that I want you to for a while, because you're gonna love it. Paul McDonald says 3 works, 3 holes works for me any night. There it is. I gotta get caught up on the chat. Oh, I'm so far behind. Stop tagging me. I gotta get caught up. All right, hold on. Two Sennheiser says Rugi has a compliment on CNC Madness website about how good they are, and Jax 3D said they were one of the best. They were the best, one of. That's interesting because Bob is one of the people that I've talked to about how bad they are. So, yeah, I've talked to multiple people that have not had great experiences with CNC Madness. I've actually worked with them before. I had a frame cut with them a long time ago, and it was okay. The edges were viciously sharp, and it was just not super polished quality, but they're one of the cheapest, so you get what you pay for. So, yeah, I don't know. Monitor Itson says, ever seen a Mobile 60 LRX drop out of the sky? RX lost after 5 to 10 seconds flying. My whoop with that AIO suddenly started doing that. Try to take your, if you're at 500, whatever, on the refresh rate, take it down to 250. If it's doing it all the time, ugh. But hopefully you're at 500. Try dropping it down to 250, and that might make it work for you. Kevin Sumner says, Cool Coyote has a storefront link for their frame now. Very cool. And it looks like he dropped the link. Thank you for that, Kevin. Paul McDonald says, I want to break your arms too. Two Sennheiser says, you down to develop 65 to 75 millimeter frames? Not really, Two Sennheiser. I'm really not... I'm not a frame designer. I don't have the time or the patience to really dig into that. Luckily, a couple of people from chat did some like initial kind of mock-ups on this, and then very luckily, Ryan Harrell just jumped in and just like as a passion project did a whole bunch of work on this. Christ, I haven't even had the time to build the damn thing, right? Like I've had this for like over a year, I think now. So yeah, I'm just not... yeah, it's just not my thing. I don't know enough about engineering. I spend my time on these live streams and you guys and all that is trying to do this thing and being a pilot. Like I would much rather be a live streamer and a pilot than a frame designer. I know that you see a lot of other pilots that put their names on frames and stuff like that, and it feels like it's not a lot of work. It is a ton of work, and I don't want to spread myself too thin. I have a tendency to spread myself too thin. So, yeah, I've had quite a few people contact me and say, like, hey, I want to work on a frame with you, or, hey, can I send you a frame for you to give me feedback on? And I hate to do it, but I've been saying no for years to that because it's just not my deal. I with mental health shit, I can handle a lot less than other people in life, and rather than trying to fight against that and push myself to the point where I become useless, I'm just like, that cool. That's the way I am. I know how much I can do, and I have that hard line now, and it's, you know, I put a boundary up there, and then that's that. And the frame stuff would either need to replace some of this other stuff, in which case, and I don't want to do that. So yeah, it's just, plus we've already got, with the tiny whoops, we've already got like damn near perfect tiny whoops. So yeah, the reason why I'm putting effort into this right now is that we don't have a solution for this. We do not have a good 3-inch freestyle frame that's at this weight. So that's why I'm willing to go down this road, but, 65 to 75 millimeters, we've got plenty of options there. Also, I don't really love the way that, I love the way that these tiny whoops fly, but that's it. Like a 65 to 75 millimeter carbon fiber frame, I don't like the way that those fly. And I don't really understand what they're for. They're a super hype trainy thing right now, but they just don't make sense to me. They don't fly good outside. You can't fly them inside. What else is there? So yeah, not my thing. Sorry, brother. Bob Noxious dropping the Fiverr link. Thank you, dude. 661 says Jack's 3D printing also cuts carbon. Very cool. There you guys go with another. I forget who was asking. Jason Crabtree says, strange question, but if you were to fly, to just fly for fun and weren't worried about getting a bunch of video for later, what would you fly? I know this is going to be personal choice. Just curious what you would choose to fly if you weren't strapping a GoPro or other HD cam on. The glides. The glides are the best flying rigs I've ever put up into the air. And like, I like the way that they fly with a session on them, to be honest. And I like watching the footage afterwards. So, yeah, like no other bullshit. Glides for sure. That also assumes that like no other bullshit. I take the question as like no people yelling at you, no FAA regs, nothing, just strictly flying for fun. Yeah, the 600 grams with 7,000 ish, I guess it would be, grams of thrust. That combination with a 5-inch propeller, 4.9-inch propeller, that combination in a parking lot, for example, it shrinks the world. It shrinks the physical world down in a very interesting way to me. And it allows me to move my eyeballs, basically, right, through the camera and the goggles and shit. It allows me to move my eyeballs around three-dimensional space in a way that is just intoxicating. The smaller stuff, it's safe, it's more realistic in the real world that we live in, right? We can build it to be sub 250 to get the FAA off our asses. It's also safer, it's quieter, it's all these great things. But just totally flying for fun, yeah, man, 5-inch rigs, it's just magic. It's just absolute magic. And it's that, I think that is one of the reasons why they're so popular. There's just this otherworldly kind of thing about them. Tiny Whoops recently, now that we've got some good power and great durability, by the same token, Tiny Whoops make you feel like you're in the movie Bug's Life or Ants, where like you're this little mosquito, and that has its own, like, I've noticed recently, like very, very intoxicating kind of thing. And I've been enjoying that quite a bit lately. So yeah, I don't know, anything that like takes us out of, we walk around, we move around, we drive around in a world, and then to like be taken out of that and like placed into like a smaller little creature or a bigger creature, right? Or a creature that can fly, I guess, is really, really cool to me. So yeah. Bugs FPV says DJI. I don't remember what the question you were asking before was, Bugs. So tag me one more time, ask me the whole question with DJI. But do me a favor, wait till after the giveaways, because I got to get the giveaways going. Paul McDonald says, have you ever put a RunCam hybrid in a glide at all, even just to test? I have not. It would require me to run 28mm standoffs on the glide, which would be like kind of crazy. That would put the top deck super high. So yeah, I've never done that, but it would be a hell of an overpowered rig. That would be crazy. CMYK says, take my money. Deal. Kevin Sumner says, would you do a bind and fly version? Hell no. With Get FPV for your frame. Technically yes, but that won't happen because Ryan used the 3-inch version. That's not my frame, it's Ryan's frame. So Get FPV will do, I'm sure, I'm not sure, but probably a bind and fly version of this with the solid base plate. But to get the split base plate the way I'm going to be moving forward with it, you're going to have to build it yourself. And I think you should anyway, because bind and fly rigs are just going to break anyway, and then you're going to have to rip them apart to fix them. So if you're already doing the spec work, might make some sense. It would, but yeah, this isn't really my frame, it's Ryan's frame. 2 Sennheiser says, Rugi said CNC Madness is top-notch, and Jax3D says he was A1. We talked about that a minute ago. Kiz Bartlett says, first plug-in was always half of the second... Oh, First plugin was always half of the second plugin, so I'm guessing it was reading 1S as 2S. Oh, okay. Yeah. That makes sense. So I think in that case, your battery scaling is off, or your charger is overcharging your batteries. First time you plug the battery in, it's giving it like 4.6 or 4.7 volts, and the flight controller thinks that that's 2S. The battery then comes down in charge a little bit from being plugged in for a second. You unplug it, you plug it back in, now it's below the threshold. There's a threshold in the power tab for max battery voltage, and I think that threshold is usually 4.5 volts, so move it up to 4.6 volts and it should fix the problem. Two Sennheiser says, have you tried T1000 Carbon? Its MPA rating is 7,000 versus T700 around 4,900 MPA. Rugi has an excellent video from a couple of years back where he interviewed someone in the carbon fiber industry. It's a brilliant, like, hour-long interview. In that interview, they talked about how, for us, the grade of carbon makes very little difference. The frame design is the most important thing. And they even went as far as to say, like, the day that the carbon fiber layup was done, the humidity, who was doing it, makes way more of a difference than the actual grade of the carbon. So I've never really given any thought as to the whether or not it's T700 or T1000 or any of that kind of shit ever since hearing that. I think there's a lot of truth to that. A good frame design in the lower end carbon, cut by a half decent manufacturer, certainly seems to me like it's a much better, and this is from just talking to Bob for years and years and years. Bob has had glide arms made from like a dozen different places. I have like at least 7 different glide arms that have been made at different time periods that are slightly different thicknesses, slightly different weaves. So yeah, in talking to him, and not to mention that, like, apparently that we have T1000 carbon, prove it. Oh, well, it just is. It's kind of that situation. It's almost like C ratings. It's just a worthless, from what I've been told by people much smarter and more invested in whatnot than me. It's just one of those things that, like, you can just at any point say, like, hey, this is T1 million carbon, it's amazing. And then like, oh, okay. Two Sennheiser says, thanks. Have you tried 30% stronger by MPA rating? MPA rating. Apparently that MPA rating is total nonsense. But that's just what that's mainly coming from conversations that I've had with Bob and just other stuff that I've read and or seen out there. I've never actually tested that stuff specifically. Two Centers says, thanks for finding that video. You're certainly welcome. Ooh, are we caught up? We're caught up. Let's do some giveaways, friends. All right. Let me get the window opened here with all that good stuff in it. Where the hell is it? Don't you dare tell me I lost my window with all the tabs open for the giveaways. Don't do it. Hold on. This is gonna suck if that's what's going on here. Please no. I always have this window that's got all the giveaway stuff broken out in it, and I'm not seeing it right now. Is it this one? Please be this one.
Video. Thank you.
Hold on. Hold up. Let me search my history real quick here. What can I search for? I can search for Pokey FPV. FPV raffle, October 24th. That sounds about right. Well, I got that up. I think that window is gone, so I'm going to have to remake it. Bear with me for a minute here. We got to open 2, 3, 4 of the PokeFPV raffle tabs. And then I gotta go to Patreon here. One of the perks of being a patron is you get access over on my Discord to a text channel called TPU Skids Are Too Heavy, Bugs. If you're gonna run TPU skids, run them only on the front arms, in my opinion, and find the lightest ones possible. Weight on the ends of the arms negatively affects the performance of the rig more than weight anywhere else. It's a really big deal. So yeah, try not to use the skids at all. It's called the Video Collective, and in the Video Collective, you can post your flight edits. And while I'm setting up the giveaways, I will play a few of those edits. And we're going to do that in a minute here, but I need to remake this goddamn window. With all that stuff in it, which is kind of annoying, but not the end of the world. So hang on, I'm just doing that right now. I just got to get a bunch of filters set here. Sorry, friends. This is the first time I've lost that. I've lost that window. I must have restarted the computer and forgot to reopen new tabs. So if I remember correctly, I need to come in here and go from. How do I do this? I go from that to that. No. That's not how I do it. That's not how I do it. Hang on. Let me put a couple of these flight edits on while I'm doing this, because this is going to take me a minute to remember how to do this. Kiz Bartlett just put one up, but it's too late. I always wait. I only show edits that are from before when the live stream started. And the live stream started at 10, so there's a whole bunch of people that tried to sneak in here. I try to like incentivize you guys to use this Discord text channel, not just during this live stream. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing here. Why are you opening in Safari, you jackass? Because that's what I have set as my default browser, because I'm a stupid person. What is it? Epidemic Sound. I gotta give you guys some royalty-free music. All right, here comes some royalty-free music and a couple of edits for you beautiful bastards to enjoy while I get the God damn it, the giveaways going here. Pause. There we go. There's 2, and there's 3. All right, so we got some Dare V, we've got some Izzy Boop, and some Fat Pastor. I might need a 4th. We got some off-axis coming at you, too. All right, first up is Dare V. I'll be back. All right, friends. Let me kill this music real quick here. I've got everything set up. So hey, I set this up a little bit differently. I used to have the filters in Patreon set up for brackets of money, but what one of you guys let me know recently is that you can. So there's a tier. There's the tier that you're on, and then there's the amount that you're donating. What somebody let me know recently is that you can be on like the $5 a month tier, but then change your donation amount to $10. I used to have it set up in brackets from $5 to $9.99 would be this tier. I'm not doing that anymore. Now I'm using the actual tiers so that if you guys want to be on the Tiny Whoop and Toothpick tier to only get entered to win that stuff, but you want to do $10 a month, you can do that. Here's what that means though. Go check your tier. Make sure that you're on the tier that you want to be on. If you don't want to, this will also allow you to not be in the giveaways. Sometimes somebody will win a giveaway. I'll message them, ask for their address, and they'll say, oh no, I'm good. I don't want to be on the giveaways. If that's you, what you want to do is you can just be on the $3 a month like starter tier, and then you can change your dollar amount to be whatever you want. So go check your tiers. It'll never allow you to be on a tier that's higher. So we should be fine tonight. But yeah, check your tier and make sure that you're on the tier that you want to be on. And yeah, you can change your donation amount to whatever you want. Make sense? Everybody get it? Here comes a link to Off Axis's gorgeous flying there at the end. And here come the giveaway things. Alright. So, this is looking good. I think I got that all set. Okay. First up is the Tiny Whoop and Toothpick tier. We've got a Weebleed FPV koozie. I can't drink beer anymore. So all the koozies that I get given away. Shout out to Weebleed FPV again for sending a big old box of goodies that have been in these giveaways. So the Weebleed goodie tonight is that koozie. We've got a Flywoo Goku VTx 625. This is one of those awesome toothpick VTXs. And Flywoo makes good stuff. We've got... Oh, fart bag. Get in there. Get in there, you donkey! We've got my green Happy model. I was going to throw this away, but instead, one of you guys can have a fancy UV reactive green frame. This frame is going to break. Actually, no, this is a brand new one. No, this isn't brand new. But yeah, I broke one of these green frames. It's very weak, but it's really lightweight. So if you want to build a super lightweight Tiny Whoop, you can do it with this green frame. Brain 3D printed me a bunch of these cool little keychains. This is a little Tiny Whoop looking keychain. Shout out to Brain 3D. Jesus. Speaking of brains not working, whole bunch of stickers, including thanks to, I want to say it was Kevin Sumner. I hope I didn't just get that wrong. I think it was Kevin Sumner that did a super chat and bought 4 of these sticker packs, one for everybody that wins these giveaways. So a full-blown sticker pack. We've got the Micro King sticker, the window cling, CiottiFPV magnet, and CiottiFPV sticker. There's also a holographic sticker in here. Bunch of other really fun little stickers in here and some just random stuff. We've got a couple of these little things. I'm sending all the giveaways out with these little guys. These are great for pinching your motors. This is like countertop grippy material. But yeah, it works really well for pinching your motors if you're trying to get a propeller off and you can't quite get the grip on it. So yeah, there's a couple of these that are getting shipped out on all my giveaways. We've got a set of the HQ 4-blade props. These are the lightest weight of the quad blade props. So if you're going to run quad blades, they need to be these. Because quad blades are typically too heavy. Brain 3D holographic sticker. We've got a little newbie drone toothpick style camera canopy. And we've got one of these awesome little tiny whoop dischargers, little PH 2.0 dischargers. This is how you keep your tiny whoop batteries in good shape, by having an actual little discharger. Little whip antenna and a little PH 2.0 connector as well. So a bunch of random but fun stuff. An awesome little VTX. Some banging propellers. Who says that? Actually, I'm gonna dump these off. And look, you'll get a beautiful CiottiFPV. There's gonna be some new packaging material coming from CMYK FPV soon. Look out for that. That'll be really fun. All right, putting all this stuff in the shipping container here real quick, and I'm gonna put this big, beautiful stack of stickers right on into this koozie. While I was setting that up, Maggie came down. Felix actually fell asleep on the couch over here next to me. They're watching YouTube with headphones on. And all right, everything's in the bag. Hey, you know what I need? Do any of you guys hoard prop bags? I have completely run out of the 5-inch sized prop bags. Do any of you guys have like a stash? These are the small ones. I have a bunch of these. I need the 5-inch sized prop bags. I completely ran out. If any of you guys have a stash of them and you can sacrifice 10 or 20 or 30, let me know. B-Man says, did I just hear can't drink any beer anymore saying it? So yeah, my stomach can't handle it. Three of the things that I'm most allergic / food sensitivities to are barley, hops, and wheat. So yeah, just can't drink beer. I mean, I can drink beer, but then I have a horrible stomach ache for the next 2 days. And I shit my pants. Kevin Sumner says, yup, it was me. Look at that. I remember things. Paul McDonald says, you can cut those grips so freaking well, man. Yeah, I've cut a lot of them. Cyber Overkill says, how can I answer the giveaway? These first 3 giveaways are for patrons only. So you got to join my Patreon. It's kind of too late right now, but if you join my Patreon in the next 2 weeks, you'll be included on one of these first 3 giveaways. The 4th giveaway, though, that I do is Superchat and PayPal based, so you can enter that. I'll tell you how in a second. Kevin Sumner says, I've got a crap load of baggies. I'll dig through them. Thank you, dude. Bob Noxious says, I'm not in like a hurry. So like if you guys are going to ship something to me in the future, just throw them in there. Bob Noxious says, seriously, I totally have that stashed away. I had 1 million of them stashed away, but I've been using them for the last like year for everything in my life. Metal says, I have so many of those bags, got a bunch of other things I've been meaning to send. That's a good excuse. Beautiful. Abraham says, I have a stash of prop bags. Text me. Jesse Garcia says, holy hell, I have a pile of them. Kevin Sumner says, you want approximately same-sized McMaster car baggies too. Nah, just the prop bags. I love seeing what the prop bags have printed on them. And it sounds like a bunch of you guys are going to send me them. So, all right. Tiny Whoop giveaway. Here we go. This button, this button, this button, and all the tickets but one shall be blown away, and the remaining tickets shall be the winner. Whose name will it be is the question. Where's my Sharpie? There it is. Gator FPV is still up top. Gardo Rotors on the top right. Cat, oh, they both just got blown away. WOM FPV, congratulations. You have won some Tiny Whoop stuff. I'm going to write your name here on the bag and ship you your loot. WOM FPV. There it is. Next up, we've got the 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewhoop tier. So we got a whole bunch of fun stuff in here tonight. The big item, which is stuck in the bag, is a full set of these universal prop guards from Stan FPV. I bought them off of his website. I don't actually know what size propeller these are for. I want to say they're for 2.5-inch props. They might be for 3-inch props. Whatever. You're going to get them, and you're going to put a propeller inside of them, and you'll know. It's not like knowing what size they're for really matters for you right now. You're either going to win them or you're not. But yeah, full set of 4 of these universal prop guards. And then we've got 3 sets of Gem Fan. What are these? 3020s? They look like 3020s. 3020s. We've got 1 set of these old school HQ 3-inch bi-blades. These are 3x3x2 3-inch bi-blades. And then we've got, of course, the little grippy guys, some random stickers and stuff. We've got the sticker pack, of course. And then we've got a set of Mamba. Mamba 1105, what's the KV? 5,500 kV motors. Lightly used. They look really new. So yeah, there's your 3-inch micro brushless and Cinewhoop tier prizes for the night. Throw them back in the bag real quick here, and then we will spin the non-existent wheel. We will spin the propellers and see the names that get blown away, but one shall remain. Let's see who that person is. Right up in here, and I forgot the goat on the first one. What am I doing? The goat screams, the props spin, Tiago Ramos' ticket's still there, it's just got blown away. One Eye is on the left, he got blown away too. Bob Noxious is still there, right? Oh, he's gone. YMFPV just got blown away. Frank Nicholas wins! Look at that. Frank Nicholas, congrats. You got some fun stuff coming your way. And let's write his name down here. Ship it on out. And he can play with some prop guards. There it is. Congrats, Frank. Got some stuff coming your way. 5-inch tier is up next, and then we're gonna do the open to all giveaway after that. 5-inch tier is just absolute prop mayhem. I hope you're looking to try a bunch of different propellers, because man, you're gonna win a bunch. All right, here we go. So we've got 3 sets of, this might be 4 sets, 3 or 4 sets of HQ R35 propellers. This is a racing prop, but a lot of freestyle guys have been playing around with these R35, R37 racing props on freestyle rigs. So whoever wins this, let me know how you like these, because I've been hearing really good things. We've got 3 sets of GemFan 5144. These are your mid-pitch propellers that are strong from GemFan. When I go and fly drift events, these are the propellers that I fly, because they're strong enough that if I bang into a car and bounce it off the ground, I don't have to worry about them bending to the point where I can't take back off and I get run over. So if you're flying like unrecoverable spots, these GemFan props are awesome. Again, they are 5144, 5144. They're heavier than all of the current like freestyle props, but heavy props are typically strong. These are definitely strong. So if you need some strong props, there you go. 3 to 4 sets of only the pinks Ethics S3. I don't like the way that the green Ethics props look, so I flew all the green ones and I saved all the pink ones, and now you get just the pink S3s. Hopefully you've got a build that will look cool with pink props. We've got 3 or 4 sets of the GemFan 5226s. These are Bob Rugi's I Love You. No. These are the 5236s. The bag says 5226, but the bag lies. Whatever. It says on the prop. I'm pretty sure these are the 5236s. Yeah, these are really, really cool props. And then last but not least, we've got the crazy props. 2 sets of GemFan 5152s. There is not a 5-inch propeller that will go faster than these. Put these on a big-ass motor, put the nose down, put a 40-degree mount, and go 100+ miles an hour. These are awesome propellers. Heavy as hell, big fat blades, but really, really fun. This bag of props is like representing both ends of the spectrum, like crazy pitch and heavy, lightweight racing, and kind of everything in between. So this is, I hope whoever wins this is going to kind of appreciate the fact that like there's a whole bunch of different worlds, and these should feel significantly different, so that you can actually like, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between props. With this bag of props, you'll be able to feel the difference for sure. Of course, a bunch of these things, a sticker pack, thanks to Kevin. And then we've also got an OG run cam split with the 30x30 board. Build you an old school rig and get you some HD out of it. It's got the memory card slot. Yeah. What do you think of that? I think it was Apache Smoke Wounded Sniper that sent these run cam splits over. Very cool of them. So there's your 5-inch tier giveaway for the night. Opening up that tag. The goat is ready. Let's see who wins. Not many tickets. We need more people on these high tiers, yo. You won't. You might. Let's see who's gonna win. Kevin Summer just got blown away. Michael Jones is hanging in there. Chopper FPV is hanging in there as well. Daniel Maurer is still there. Robin Duckett's still here. Tiago Ramos is still here. Tiago's gone. Michael Jones is still... Oh, it's either Frank or... There it is, Michael Jones. Look at that. Very rarely do I call it when I'm in my little announcer mode. Michael Jones, congratulations. He is a newer top-tier patron. You have won. It has paid off, my friend. Michael Jones, you've got some stuff coming to you. Thanks to all that support me on Patreon. If you didn't win this time, you'll win in 2 weeks from now. I know you will. Now we're going to do our last giveaway that's open to everybody. I'm going to show you the stuff that's in here, but if you want to jump in early, the way that you get in on this giveaway is by supporting your gangly buddy. $5 will get you on the wheel once, $10 will get you on the wheel twice. You can do a super chat here on YouTube. YouTube and Google are going to take 30%. If you don't want to do that, head on over to my website, CiottiFPV.com, and there's a PayPal button. Click the PayPal button, and that'll directly allow you to send me PayPal. Do me a favor, in the chat, type @Ciotti, PayPal'd you $5 or $10 or whatever it may be, and I'll put you on the wheel either once or twice. I keep saying, I gotta stop saying wheel. We used to use a wheel for the randomizer for the longest time. Now we use this excellent little FPV raffle thing. Here's the link to this FPV raffle thing. Pokey FPV made it, and it's super cool. And he lets anybody use it, so. Blizzard FPV with a $13.99 Canadian super chat, no comment. He says, I want those Mamba motors if I get a shot. Sorry, Blizzard, they were in the Patreon specific giveaway. Blizzard, are these super chats for this giveaway here? Denzel the Terrible dropping a link. Here's what you're playing for in this giveaway. Feel free to pause for a second, if you don't want to just get on it without knowing what you're playing for. All right, whole bunch of stuff. We've got an Ethics QX7 screen protector. If you or none of your buddies have a QX7, you can tell me to just keep this and I'll recycle it into another giveaway. Set of the light Grip Light, the skinny stuff in blue. A bag of random M2 screws. You've got a Ciotti FPV sticker pack, a $10 value. One of my holographic stickers, Brain 3D and FPV Exchange holographic stickers. We've got 2 sets of the 5152 propellers, Big Boy Go Fast props. 3 sets of the 5236 Rugi I Love You Man props. That's what I'm going to call them from now on, I Love You Man props. Tuner Taxi made this awesome helical antenna that really does work well. This is going to be in there as well. We got another little, not another, but for you, it's going to be another little voltage checker. Always nice to have a couple extra of those, because good lord do they disappear. We've got a XT60. This is one of the good ones, isn't it? Every other one of these cables that I have apparently has an issue with it. Nah, I'll give it away. It's fine. I was thinking about keeping this just now, but XT60 to barrel plug and balance lead cable. If you don't have one of these, good lord, this is nice to have in your bag. Your choice of either an SMA or an MMCX antenna, one or the other. Little micro to nano camera adapter. We've got a Min Chan Kim, guaranteed to make you 15 to 20 seconds faster Runcam Racer 3 MCK edition with a bunch of extra wire for you. And then we've got a GoPro Hero 567 ND32 filter by Ethics. And a set of these little guys. This really cool Brain 3D full color printed keychain. An atomic fireball, guaranteed to make your asshole bleed. And TweetFPV very kindly donates a set of his transmitter grip tape skateboard grips, so you can shoot him a message and say, hey, I won Ciotti's giveaway, I have a so-and-so transmitter, and my favorite color is Jibbity Jab, and he'll cut you a set of his transmitter grips. Shout out to TweetFPV. If you guys are not subscribed and watching his stuff, you're missing out. He is awesome. Let's get people added to the giveaway here. We're going to pull this up, And then Blizzard, let me know if your super chats were to get onto this giveaway. Abraham with a $19.99 super chat. He says 2 for me and two for you to give to people you like in the chat. Oh, I can't see that. I can't play favorites. You got to pick, Aber. You got to pick. I can't in good conscience play favorites like that. That'll bite me in the ass. CMYK says PayPal. Awesome. I'm getting my email fired up here. We'll get that rolling in a second. Hey, shout out to our newest patron from last night, Kat. Welcome to the Gangly Gang. Hey, we've had one new patron for every single live stream in the last 2 weeks, basically because I've been guilt tripping the shit out of you guys into joining my Patreon. Don't let the streak die. Somebody join Patreon. I haven't seen any Patreon emails, so I don't know if anybody has joined tonight. Nope, Newt joined tonight. Welcome to the Gangly Gang, Newt. All right, let's get this going. That's a hot streak right there, man. Let's keep that going, yo. Okay. So, Aber, I got you on here twice. Aber, did you accidentally do your super chat twice? Ed K says, yep, we got that. Apache Smoke Windows Server says, good morning. Bit late, what's up, Gangly Gang? Aber, yeah, tag me and let me know who I'm putting on the wheel for you. Sleepy CBR, let me know. PayPal, awesome. Paul McDonald says, all right, very cool. I'm going to jump over to PayPal, start adding people. Abraham, let me know who's going on the wheel. Danzo the Terrible says, don't know if you saw my chat. PayPal, do you want it for me? Yep. All right, here we go. I'm going to work through the emails here. B-Man sent $20. 2 for me, 2 for Aber. Happy birthday. Aber's already on the wheel twice. You can only go on the wheel 2 times. B-Man, let me know who your other 2. But I'm going to put you on here twice, B-Man. B-Man. Nope, that's not how it's spelled. B-Man and B-Man. All right, I got you on here twice, brother. Ed K with a $5 PayPal. He's going on the wheel. Thank you, brother. All right, cool. Got that. And okay, we got CMYK FPV. He's going on the wheel 2 times. CMYK FPV. CMYK FPV. Awesome. Thank you, brother. And then we've got a little bit of Alan Lohman, Sleepy CBR with a $10 super PayPal. He's going on the wheel twice. Thank you, Sleepy. And we got a little East Side Pixel Company, the gangliest ganglier that ever did gangle. Put me on the wheel, Denzel. It's terrible. Nice. Denzel, you're going on 2 times. Come on. There we go. Once and twice. Thank you, brother. And there's Newt becoming a patron. Welcome to the gangliest of gangly gangs, my friend. Here's a Reddit email. Metal Dirtskin with a $10 PayPal. He's going on the wheel 2 times. Thank you, Metal. Once and twice. Riot9 says 1 for Respin with a $6.69 Australian super chat. All right, so we're going to put Respin up here. All right, there we go. There's Riot9 coming through. Metal Dirtskin says PayPal. Ed K says PayPal. B-Man says put Paul McDonald and Bob Noxious RX, 1 each. Awesome. All right, so B-Man, you're good to go. Paul McDonald is going on. All right, Paul is on there. And then Bob Noxious is going on as well. I've lost track of the people that have overpaid. You got like a minute or 2 to let me know who's going on the wheel. I'll just trust that. You tell me what to do and I'll do it. Abraham says 2 for Brandon's Baked Beans. Awesome. All right, Brandon's Baked Beans is on there twice. Then with my second super chat, 1 or 2 for each of the following. Danzilla's already on there. Riot9, I think Riot is on there. Riot had me do a respin, so I have a feeling he doesn't want to be on the wheel. If you do, Riot, let me know. Marcel Off Access with a $5 super chat. He's going on the wheel. Thank you, brother. Oh, God. I did something wrong. There we go. Off Access, you're on the wheel. Congrats. Thank you, homie. All right. Wait. Here we go. Riot. Okay, one for Bob Noxious from Abraham. Got it. Now Bob Noxious is on the wheel 2 times. So he's good. 661. I'm going to put him on the wheel twice. And I've lost track. I think maybe we're where we need to be. Maybe. Danzilla Terrible says, PayPal you 1 for me, 1 for Eva FPV. Danzilla, do I have you on here? I put you on here twice, Danzilla. Eva FPV is going on the wheel. Whether she likes it or not. And then 1 for Paul McDonald, 1 for Bob Noxious. We've got Bob Noxious on here twice. Paul McDonald is on here once. We're going to put him on here twice. And I think maybe we're good to go. Maybe. You guys need to keep track. I just keep going. Let me get back over to PayPal. Metadirt's I got you on there. Kevin Sumner with a holy hell, $50 PayPal. Thank you so much, Kevin. Good Lord. 2 tickets for me. Vaccines kicking my butt, so nothing witty. Oh, man. I should have gotten my second booster, man. This is what I get for not getting my second booster. Kevin Sumner, you're on the wheel twice. Thank you so much for the support, homie. Chopper FPV with a $10 super chat. He says, I'm in, brother. You got it, my man. Thank you. Chopper is on there once and twice. Kevin Sumner says PayPal. Abraham says 2 for PJ. All right, cool. PJ is going on here twice. I'm assuming that you guys are keeping track. I should have had this up so that you guys could see what's happening over here. But Paul McDonald says 1 paid for Riot slot. Riot 9 did a super chat and he told me to put Respin on there. So I don't think, you know what it is? Riot 9 is outside of the US and I'm not shipping outside the US anymore because it's bad. Metadirtson says this is getting too complicated. It's like taking pizza orders for a room full of stoners. It's true. Abraham says I have 1 left. Who still needs on? Who is it that? Let's put the person that asked how to get in on the giveaways on. Hopefully he's still in here though. Who was it? Who asked me how to get in on the giveaways? I'm scrolling up to try to find it. Where was it? If they're not here though, if they're not still here, it's going to be a problem. And they might not still be here because Cyber Overkill. You still here? If you're here, you're going on. You gotta at me, Cyber Overkill. There you are. Done. Cyber Overkill, you're on the wheel. Well, not yet, but I'm adding you right now. There it is. Everybody cool? We all good? Also, why isn't Metal Dirt's gonna mod? I don't know. He is now. It doesn't take much with me. All right, cool. We're good to go. Thanks, guys. This is a big one. Jesus, there's gonna be a ton of tickets on this one. Very, very cool. I appreciate the support. You guys are absolutely awesome. You literally allow me to continue to do this full time. So thank you. Let's get it on the giveaway, not sex, you dirty bastards. And the goat is ready. Let's see who wins. Goat screams, props whirl. Virtual thrust is created. CMYK is in the middle. He's still there. Cyber Overkill is still there. Denzel the Terrible just blew away before my very eyes. PJ is still there. Cyber just got blown away. Metal Dirtskin, congratulations. You have won many things. Metal, do you want an SMA or an MMCX antenna? And do you want a QX7 screen protector? Let me know. And Metal, you've been around long. Oh, I'm sorry, Cheech FPV. Here's what I'm going to do, Cheech. That came through a little on the late side, but here's what I do when that happens. I'm going to put you onto the wheel here, and I leave this window open. So your super chat gets you on the wheel twice. 2 Mondays from now, I'm going to open this window up, and you're going to be there. So you're going to be entered into the giveaway, but just 2 weeks from now. It won't be this exact same group of stuff, but it'll be roughly the same amount of stuff. So I'm sorry I didn't catch you before I spun the wheel, but this is the best I can do, brother. If you're pissed, I can just like PayPal you back $10 or whatever, but usually people are cool with it. Let me know. Reach out to me if you're mad you didn't get on tonight's and we'll make it work. Metadirtson says the abusive power has begun already. No QX7 and I'll take SMA. Thanks. There you go. SMA is going in. QX7 screen protector is coming out. Hey, Cheech, you'll be entered to win a QX7 screen protector and an MMCX antenna. There's your spoiler for 2 Mondays from now. Who won this? I didn't look at it before. Who won this? Be honest. I didn't. I can't remember from 5 seconds ago. Was it Metal? It was Metal, wasn't it? Yeah, Metal Dirt Skin. Congratulations, Metal Dirt Skin, the most metal of dirt skins. There we go. Now I wrote it down. Thanks for playing, friends. I love you guys. You're the fucking best. What? It's after midnight already. Jesus. I told you we probably weren't going to work on that rig. Blizzard FPV says, what are the PIDs on the giveaway quad? They're all zeroed out. It's a very floppy quad. There's a couple of things. Well, here, we'll pretend like we did some work on this. Look at all the work we just did on this. Man, the fucking ESC is installed. So, last night, what I did on this rig is I figured out what the standoff height needs to be, which is M2 by 20. This is a Hack RC ESC. I'm really looking forward to pounding on this ESC because look how cheap it is, yo. This is a $33 20 by 20 ESC that's perfect for micros. You would not want, even though this is a 35 amp, this is not a 5-inch ESC. You put this on a 5-inch and it'll blow up immediately. This is a micro ESC. It's a much thinner PCB. There's much less capacitance. But on a micro, this thing should be really good. I've run this ESC already and it's been totally fine. I'm hoping that it holds up for some more abuse here because a $33 micro ESC is... That's what we want. You know, we want our micros to be cheap. So yeah, I have high hopes for this Hack RC ESC. It's already held up to some abuse on a rip squeak at some point. Hopefully, this is going to be a hell of a test for it because I'm going to really just pound on this thing. I had a set of race wire LEDs with leads already on them that just happened to fit really nice, so I just soldered those guys up, and they're fitting. I gotta put VHB on these. And then I started to get the, I figured out the spacing that I needed between the ESC and the flight controller. I'm doing a Talon F7 flight controller on here. So yeah, it's gonna sit like that. And then, yeah, there's gonna be a, this is the old school, big long 20 by 20 HDZero VTx that's gonna go on here. I found this little iFlight antenna floating around, right-hand circular polarized. This, I am not in love with this VTX. It's great that it's 20 by 20, but their little system of holding the UFL on is dumb. These little press nuts are not pressed in, and like it's just stupid. I mean, technically, yeah, they didn't even have to do this, but I actually really like this little system of holding the UFL on. It's just the way that they did it is kind of stupid. TBS did a similar setup, and they just let you thread into the PCB, which works totally fine. But yeah, this little HDZero setup is dumb. I don't even know if they still make this VTX, to be honest with you. I think there's a smaller 20 by 20 200 milliwatt VTX nowadays, but I bought this a while ago, and yeah, it's fine. So yeah, I'm going to use this plug header here, and then I've got one of these tiny little short Mippies for the camera. I haven't decided what camera I'm going to do on it. I think this is the original run cam. I think I'm going to use this because this thing is going to get so much abuse. I would rather break this camera. I also have the newer camera here, but yeah, I don't think it's... With how hard I'm going to be beating on this thing, I don't think it makes much sense to put this camera on it initially. So I think I'm going to save this camera and put the hurting on this one for the time being. So, well, we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind. I have a tendency to change my mind 7,000 times in a row with builds. But yeah, that's where this guy is going to be at. I'm going to try to get it done this week so I can start beating on it. It's going to get old school RCX 1304 motors. I have a whole shitload of these. It'll be a little bit underpowered on these motors, but I have a whole bunch, and they're extremely durable, so I'm hoping I don't break too many motors. I'm trying to break the frame, not the motors. That's about it. Oh, yeah, Crossfire Nano, which I prepped all up nicely last night. I'm playing around with a new way of prepping these Crossfire Nanos. I'm using overlapping pieces of shrink wrap so that when I mount this, I mount it sideways in the frame, and by using the double shrink wrap setup, the antenna can kind of come out the middle, and then the antenna is roughly centered on the bottom there. And then it also sends these wires out. So yeah, I don't know. I've done this a couple times now, and I think I kind of like it. So if you want to steal my idea of doing a little double shrimp wrap thing, maybe you'll like it too. But yeah, so this is how I'm kind of doing my Crossfire Nanos nowadays. Seems to work pretty well. I use the through holes for the wires because it's nice and strong. One of the things that I'm definitely going to have Ryan change about this frame is I'm going to have him add a little carbon fiber strut across this opening so that you can run a zip tie under the carbon fiber strut and up around your Crossfire to hold the Crossfire in place. There's not really a great way to hold this Crossfire in right now, so I'll probably just zip tie this antenna and just let the antenna kind of hold the Crossfire Nano in there, which should be totally fine, but it would be nice to have a little piece of carbon fiber here, just a little stringer across for a little zip tie to go through, and then to hold down either just your Crossfire, or what I like to do is Crossfire and a little analog VTX, and you just VHB those two guys top to bottom, and then you just run one zip tie up around them, and then it's just a super simple little slick. That's actually the front of the frame. Here's the rear of the frame. Just a super simple little slick way of holding your receiver and VTX package. On this rig, the VTX is absolutely massive. But yeah, usually when I build these rigs, they're analog. And the way that this is meant for the RunCam hybrid, and that's going to be an analog build. So there you go. Just pretend like we did all that work here tonight. And then the name of the stream is not a lie. Double shrimp wrap for the seafood lover in ya. Metal Thurskin says. EEDoc says, any reason for going with the compromised Crossfire antenna instead of putting ELRS and EP1 in it? I run Crossfire on everything that I fly outside, and then I run ELRS on just the Tiny Whoop stuff. I just don't want to have to worry about, like, oh, which rig am I bringing? So if I go out of the house, I bring my Crossfire module. If I'm flying inside the house, it's the ELRS module. Done. Simple. Crossfire Nanos are cheap. They work awesome. This is the V2 of the Mini Mortal T, which works great. You get plenty of range with it. So, yeah, it just works. Jesse Garcia with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. He's glad to finally make a few live ones. Got to go to bed. Have a good night, gang of the gang. Thanks so much, Jesse. I hope you're still here to hear my loving you. Abraham says, beat it hard. Kevin Sumner says, that race VTX is dead. Awesome. V2 is much smaller. Perfect. This one's going to get the hell beaten out of it, so hopefully I break it. And, not hopefully, but you know what I mean. Kiz Bartlett says, we always praise CiottiFPV for doing these live streams, but we never praise David's balls for gifting this legend. Jesus, kids. Kevin Sumner says, they also send zip ties to hold the UFL, so you have a choice. Oh, you're right. They did send a bunch of little white zip ties. I love the little screws and plate thing, though. It's a great idea. Although the zip ties are probably lighter. Eva FPV says, go knock on carbon fiber right now. Never say it's been fine so far, though. This is famous last words. Very true. Kevin Sumner says, did you forget to read the previous stream comments again? I think you forgot again. Yep, I'm like a week behind. Looks like my dad went to bed. It's because he's old. Ryan Hine says, could shrink the shrimp on that quad, CiottiFPV. That will count as work. There you go. I didn't shrink the shrink, though. Just pretend. We're just going to pretend. All right, cool. I think we're caught up on chat. If I missed any, I apologize. Catch me on Wednesday at 6 o'clock Eastern time. We'll be back for Whoop Wednesday. Brains Baked Beans with the last super chat of the night. He says, put just welder's glue, a little wooden coffee stirrer on that frame, then zip tie to that. It's actually not a bad idea at all. All right, friends, thanks for hanging out. I love you. Be good. I'll see you again on Wednesday. I'm going to go continue to feel like garbage. Thanks for all the support tonight. I love you guys. Here's some more raw drift footage from God knows when. Here's some 4-inch drift footage. I gotta get some music up here though. Dreamy and laid back. I'll be the judge of that. Love you guys. Be good. Thanks for hanging. Oh, don't. There we go. This is a finished edit, by the way. It's on the channel. I'm not gonna play the music from it though. Later.